जमुना तीरा वनचारिया जमुना तीरा वनचारिया जयो राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारिया जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारिया यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना जमुना तीरा वनचारिया जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारिया जयो राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारिया हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपाकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. This morning we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, entitled The Creation of Fourth Order, chapter 20, entitled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena, text 12. Bhinnasya lingasya guna pravaha dravya kriya कारका चेतना आत्मनः दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्धसौहृदा। भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्यक्रियाकारकचेतनात्मनः द्रव्यक्रियाकारकचेतनात्मनः दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्धसौहृदा न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्धसौहृदा। भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्यक्रियाकारकचेतनात्मनः दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्धसौहृदा। भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्यक्रियाकारकचेतनात्मनः दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्धसौहृदा। Please recite. Vinnasya lingasya gunapravaho द्रव्य क्रियाकारक चेतनात्मनः दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्ध सौहृदा भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्य क्रियाकारक चेतनात्मना दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्ध सौहृदा भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्य क्रियाकारक चेतनात्मनः दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्ध सौहृदा भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्य क्रियाकारक चेतनात्मनः दृष्टस्य संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि सर्वसौहृदा। श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन भगवान की, श्री श्री गौर निताय चंद्र भगवान की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। एनीबडी फ्रॉम वैष्णवीज? भिन्नस्य लिंगस्य गुणप्रवाहो द्रव्य क्रियाकारक चेतनात्मनः दृष्टासु संपत्सु विपत्सु सूरयो न विक्रियन्ते मयि बद्ध सौहृदा। We'll see what word meaning. भिन्नस्य different, लिंगस्य of the body, guna of the three modes of material nature, pravaha the constant change, dravya physical elements, kriya activities of senses, karaka demigods, chetana and the mind, atmanaha consisting of, drishtasu when experienced, sampatsu happiness, vipatsu distress, suraya those who are advanced in knowledge, na never, vikriyante become disturbed, mai unto me, baddha saurudha bound in friendship. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Lord Vishnu told King Pruthu, my dear king, the constant change of this material world is due to the interaction of three modes of material nature. The five elements, the senses, the demigods who control the senses, as well as the mind, which is agitated by the spirit soul, all these taken together comprises the body. Since the spirit soul is completely different from the combination of the gross and subtle material elements, my devotee who is connected with me in intense friendship and affection, being completely in knowledge, is never agitated by material happiness and distress. Please recite the translation in response. Lord Vishnu told King Pruthu, my dear king, the constant change of this material world is due to the interaction of the three modes of material nature. The five elements, the senses, the demigods who control the senses, as well as the mind, which is agitated by the spirit soul, all these taken together comprise the body. Since the spirit soul is completely different from this combination of gross and subtle material elements, my devotee who is connected with me in intense friendship and affection, being completely in knowledge, is never agitated by material happiness and distress. Purport. The question may be raised that if the living entity has to act as the superintendent of the activities of the bodily combination, then how can he be indifferent to the activities of the body? The answer is given here. These activities are completely different from the activities of spiritual soul of the living entity. A crude example can be given in this connection. A businessman riding in a motor car sits in the car, supervises its running, and advises the driver. He knows how much gasoline is used up and he knows everything about the car. But still, he is apart from the car, is more concerned with his business. Even while riding in his car, he thinks about his business and his office. He has no connection with the car, although he is sitting there. As the businessman is always absorbed in the thoughts of his business, so the living entity can be absorbed in the thoughts of rendering devotional service, loving service to the Lord. Then it will be possible to remain separate from the activities of the material body. The position of neutrality can be possible only for a devotee. The word Baddha Sahruda, bound in friendship, is particularly used here. Karmis, Jnanis and Yogis cannot be bound in devotional service. Karmis fully engage in the activities of the body. Their aim of the life is to give comfort to the body only. Jnanis try to get out of entanglement by philosophical speculation, but they have no standing in the liberated position. Because they do not take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down from the exalted position of Brahman realization. Yogis also have a bodily conception of life. They think that they can achieve something spiritual by exercising the body through dharana, asana, pranayana, etc. A devotee's position is always transcendental because he is in intimate relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, to remain aloof from the actions and reactions of the body and engage in one's real occupation, namely rendering service to the Lord, can be possible only for devotees. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I seek blessings of all the assembled devotees, in particular His Grace Anandamaya Prabhu. In this particular section of Srimad Bhagavatam, we are seeing that Prithu Maharaj was planning to perform his 100th Yashvamedha Yajna, and Indra, in a very cheating way, tries to interrupt the sacrifices of Prithu Maharaj. And now, from the previous episode of this whole instance of Indra acting as a religious person and doing adharma, it becomes very evident that the mistake is of Indra. However, when the Supreme Lord appears, he brings definitely Indra along. But however, he gives instructions to Prithu Maharaj. And here in this verse, in one way, Lord Vishnu is indicating that why is he instructing Prithu Maharaj? Why not? He could have chastised Indra heavily. At least in the absence of Prithu Maharaj, he could have done, he might have corrected Indra a lot. That is the reason why he brought Indra along. But now in presence of Prithu Maharaj, why is it that Supreme Lord Vishnu is instructing Prithu Maharaj? Because the instructions which Prithu Maharaj is giving, it befits for a devotee, not for a karmi, not for a jnani. Only for a devotee we can tell that you be please completely be liberated. If we go and tell some karmis that become completely liberated, these karmis will never understand. And they feel that this idea of being completely liberated is ridiculous. It is not, it is impractical and it is not possible. We go out sometimes and preach to the karmis. We tell them be detached from the concepts of body and bodily products. They say that it is impractical. It is impossible, impractical. Don't give me these lessons. So in history also you will see that sometimes when we give instructions to the people who are very materially attached, they don't accept it. We have once the story of Chitraketu, where when he was very attached to his bodily concept of life, the good instructions don't go inside him. There is one more story of Pancharatras, I think, the story of Mahamurkha. Once there was a great king, he was very attached to the bodily concept of life. And a great saintly person came and tried to give instructions to him. He said that, your instructions are good, but not for me. So Indra is depicting that kind of a materially attached person. Although he has heard the instructions, Krishna is instructing Prithu Maharaj, he is hearing the instructions. But Indra can't hear. But Prithu Maharaj is accepting those instructions. So this particular instruction instance is very similar to what Krishna gave it to Arjuna. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkada agama payino nityas tam stitikshasva bharata. So you see that Duryodhana at one point also was influenced by material ideas. My kingdom. And in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was also influenced. Swajana. He used this word called Swajana, my people, my kingdom. Why should there be a destruction? If they are not ready to, give, even sit for compromise, let them take. He is trying to act as if he is a liberated person, but Arjuna was indirectly indicating that let me not fight. Whereas Krishna wanted Arjuna, like here in this word, Baddha Sauruda means one who is very intimate to me. See, Duryodhana is doing wrong, Krishna is not very much interested. But if some devotees who are specially in friendship with Lord, like Arjuna was a friend of Krishna. So Krishna did not tolerate that. A particular person in my friendship should be liberated from this bodily concept of winning and losing also. Jaya Ajaya. Krishna uses these words called Jaya Jaya. To be completely detached from these fears of winning and victory. So somebody may ask that why we should be detached from happiness and distress. Here in this particular verse, Sampatsu Vipatsu. Sampatsu means favorable positions in material world. Vipatsu means what do you say? Distress. Prabhupada translates as distress means unfavorable situations. So why one should be detached from favorable and unfavorable situations? The answer comes from the Bhagavad Gita verse, Agama Payino Nityas. Agama Payino, they come and go. They come and go. Nothing is permanent in this world. There is one thing permanent in this world. That is impermanency. Change is completely permanent in this world. Everything you see in this material world, somewhere or other keeps on changing continuously. So something which is not permanent, why should you worry for? You worry for something which is permanent. That's why Krishna tells in 2nd chapter 12th verse, he says, I forgot that exact term. What is 12.12? Natvevaham jatunasham natvam neme janadipa. One verse before that. Asochaya nanvasochastvam pragyavadam se bhashate gatasum agatasumscha nanu shotanti pandita. So there is something called as temporary, there is something called as permanent. So if you are my friend, devotee, you look for something which is permanent. So this fame of these demigods of being conducting 100-day Ashwamedha Yagyas, it's after all temporary. Indra will also lose his post. No matter how much you are attached to. So this is the way material world works. No matter how much more attachment you see, at one day you have to give up. You can never say that this material asset is permanent. That nobody can say, even Indra cannot say that. So Indra is anyways afflicted by this. What is this? Guna Pravaha. We see that word called Guna Pravaha. So Guna Pravaha means, in simple words, Prabhupada has translated 3 modes of material nature and the constant change of 3 modes of material nature. But it has more deeper meaning also. So this Sanskrit, whenever we read Sanskrit words, it has more deeper meaning. Pravaha means not just change, it also means constant flow. Pravaha means change, also Pravaha means flow. So why it is called Guna Pravaha? Apparently Prithu Maharaj, what he tried to attempt is to counteract the act of Indra is Guna Pravaha. Guna Pravaha means once you get into it, you will not be able to come out of it. Like when we go sometimes to a place where rivers are flowing very fast, Pravaha. So externally looking, it may look good, but the moment you keep your hand or you just slip your leg inside it, you will be just lost in that flow. And you will never be able to come out of that flow. Specifically, when we go to these higher Himalayan ranges where there is Rishikesh and Badrinath, you see the river of Ganga flowing so fast, and by mistake, if you just fall into that pravaha, you can't say, okay, my legs got wet, okay, I'll come out. Because small river is flowing, very small water body is flowing, you may by mistake slip and fall into that, and again you may come back. But the Guna Pravaha are not like that. If by mistake you slip and fall down into it, you will not be located there, you will be located somewhere else. And you just cannot come out. So that's why Lord Vishnu is telling, Indra is already in Guna Pravaha. He's already fallen, he's already gone. Yes, you don't get into this Guna Pravaha. Don't have this mentality of taking revenge from somebody who is already suffering. Indra is already suffering because of Guna Pravaha. What is the point in taking revenge from somebody who is already suffering? So at least at that point of time, Krishna is telling, don't get into this Guna Pravaha. Dravya Kriya Karaka Chetanatmana Drishtasu. Drishtasu means, of course, Prabhupada, simple words, Drishtasu means when experienced. Sanskrit word Drishta means also seeing. Here Prabhupada has given deeper meaning, experienced. So there is difference between seeing and experience. And experience also can be of various levels. So somebody who is being very experienced person does not become bewildered by sampatsu and vipassu. So in this material world, every time we see there is sampatsu or vipassu. And what can protect from us from sampatsu and vipassu is surayo. Surayo means being having complete knowledge. So this complete knowledge sometimes comes only by hearing, and sometimes comes by practically experiencing, and sometimes only by seeing. But every level of Drishtasu has its own impression on the person who is becoming the person called Drishtasu. Like generally when we say that a crocodile bite is very dangerous. Crocodile bite is very dangerous. Everyone knows this. Crocodile bite is very dangerous. Everyone knows this, right? But if you ask Gajendra, crocodile bite, is it dangerous? He's expressing that yes, crocodile bite is dangerous, is far more of a realization than we speaking crocodile bite is dangerous, right? So here, Krishna is telling Prithu Maharaj to go more deeper. Drishtasu means you have already seen the situation of Sampatsu and Vipatsu. So this Drishtasu of having been experienced is very, very relevant. Because here King Prithu Maharaj, Prithu is acting as a king and he is a very realized soul. In the future also we will see that he being a very realized soul, he was, what do you say, gave, the four Kumaras gave his Sanidhya and gave instructions and opportunity to serve to Prithu Maharaj. So his Drishtasu is of a higher level, become a higher level Drishtasu. So by higher level Drishtasu means by higher level of seeing, what are we supposed to see? What are we supposed to see? We are supposed to see what is temporary and what is eternal. So a person who is Shastra Sakshu, he will always categorize things in two categories. What is temporary, what is eternal. So if Krishna is telling Prithu Maharaj to give up this is temporary. This post of Indra or Shata Vrata Krutu, Shata Krutu is temporary. Give up. So these temporary things, devotees should not be so much influenced by. Like for example, when Dhruva Maharaj had got this entire planet, kingdom of our entire planet for 36,000 years, was he happy? He was not happy. Like somebody by mistake becomes president of a country for 5 years, he become exceedingly happy. But here Dhruva Maharaj at the age, very early age, he is made king of 36,000 years of the entire planet. Still Dhruva Maharaj was unhappy. So somebody who is reading this section of Dhruva Maharaj, he may feel that, Dhruva Maharaj is unreasonable. What more does he want? The Dhruva Maharaj's calculation was this is temporary. 36,000 years is also temporary. Whereas Krishna's darshan and serving Krishna is completely eternal. So that's why Dhruva Maharaj was unhappy. So with Drishtasu, this Shastra Chakshu, we should always try to cut out what is eternal and what is temporary. So Prabhupada gives one more example here in the purport. He speaks about a businessman riding in a car. A businessman while riding in a car, he may get some understanding about how the car is functioning. What is how much petrol it has. Prabhupada uses this word gasoline. How much gasoline it has. How is it working? Whether it is working nicely or not. But a real businessman will not be really interested in that. He will be interested in that in as much as he can go from office to his home and home to his office. So that much a person should be interested in bodily concept of life. How much? From home come to temple, participate in the service of the Lord, go back to the temple, go back to the home. We use this body just as a machine to come to the real business of our life. Just like a person uses his car as just a medium for coming from home to the office. Similarly, a body should be used as a machine just to use it in the service of the Lord, not more than that. So being aloof means this. Being aloof does not mean that he doesn't care. Being aloof does not mean that he doesn't know. Being aloof means use it just as much as it is necessary. That is the point of being aloof. So Prabhupada writes, but still he is apart from the car is more concerned with his business. So Prithu Maharaj, this kind of arrangement of sacrifices, so to say, instead of becoming a means for the welfare of the citizens, was becoming means of extended sense gratification. My own fame, my own establishment, like that. So Krishna is instructing Prithu Maharaj because Prithu Maharaj was receptive. Prithu Maharaj was in Baddha Saurudha. So this Baddha Saurudha, because of this, he is in a different category. So Prabhupada writes about Karmis and Gyanis because practically all the demigods are in the activity of Karmis and Gyanis. So now Karmis means that you are interested in the result of your activities for your own sense gratification, or you are interested in results of your activities for your extended sense gratification. These are karmis. And the Gyanis, of course, wants to achieve something which they are not qualified for, or through a wrong process. Gyanis think that by my own exercise of bodily activities, I will achieve Supreme Lord. Whereas the Supreme Lord can be achieved only by the causeless mercy of Supreme Lord. So here the Supreme Lord himself is propagating that I have come to bless you. Now what more you want? Why are you interested in senses, interested in demigods? And all these things are, so to say, are for lower category people. But Prithu Maharaj is being a Shakti-Avesh avatar, being a king, should lead a life of completely being aloof from this. So Lord Krishna is instructing, don't identify yourself with this. We see in our life, most of the time, our happiness and distress lies on what we identify with. Now, of course, another reason why we should be aloof from Sampatsu and Vipassu is that it is relative. Relative in the sense that for one particular person something is Sampatsu, the same act for another person is Vipassu. So relative and Sampatsu Vipassu means that when we identify with something, we try to extend our happiness based on somebody else's happiness also. Like for example, most of the people are identifying themselves with a nation. And imagine there is a competition between two nations. If one nation wins in a particular competition, all the people really start thinking that we have won. They term like that, we won the World Cup. As if he was really in the part of the team of winning the World Cup. Because that identity lies. And in the same act of competition, if one person is winner, another person is loser, the same act of competition gives happiness to somebody, Sampatsu. The same act of the competition gives Vipassu to somebody else. That's why these Sampatsu and Vipassu, apart from being temporary, are relative. One person may say that this is my happiness, another person will say that same act is my distress. When we were coming in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, this example was given to me. Like for example, whenever a festival like Diwali comes, most of the people become happy, right? Because we get a lot of sweets. But there are some classes of people, for them it becomes Vipassu because many of the children, while playing with the crackers, they burn their hands. The same act of Diwali become Vipassu to somebody else. Now, but the same act of Diwali of the children getting burnt by the act of crackers become Sampatsu for whom? The doctors, because they will have more patients, and that's how they make the business. So although the same act can be Sampatsu for two people in two different ways. Like Diwali is happy for most of the people because they can burn crackers. Diwali is happy for the people, for doctors also, because by the act of burning crackers, some people will get afflicted and my business will grow. So that's why even though the happiness is there, the happiness is also relative to the various categories. So in this way, the material world entraps the living entity with these various activities of Sampatsu and Vipassu, and we just don't know where we are heading towards. Although we may feel that we are in Sampatsu, we always try to be in one category, the other category keeps on haunting us. In this way, material world gives various, various ideas of happiness and distress. That's why here King Prithu Maharaj is being advised, try to become liberated. And one word which Krishna uses in Bhagavad Gita, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada, Agama paino nityas tam stitikshasva bharata. So this act of tolerance actually brings the person to a stable platform of not getting influenced. Just like when we go to an ocean, there is constant waves, but somebody who sits in the boat of knowledge, he is aloof. Like that. The more stronger the boat, the more protection he has from the waves. If the boat is very small, one bigger wave can demolish you. So we may tell that we still had a boat, sir. We had an intelligence, boat of intelligence. But a higher wave comes, you are drowned. So that's why the boat of knowledge should be very, very big, very, very vast. So, however, these are various kinds of instructions which King Rutu Maharaj is receiving from Supreme Lord. So, taking instructions from very realized person has a completely different effect. It is as good as Drishtasu. Like when we read scriptures ourselves, it may also be called as Drishtasu. But when we take instructions and hear from very, very realized person, that Drishtasu level is different. For example, when Mrigari just heard that you will have to go to Narak for all these activities, his level of Drishtasu was little different. But when Narad Muni gave him Drishtasu, that what kind of hell he will go through, that Drishtasu gave him transformation. So in our practice of spiritual life, this specific terms of Guna Pravaha and Drishtasu, Sampatsu, Vipassu can guide us in our life how not to get into Guna Pravaha. This is what is my understanding of this explanation to King Prithu Maharaj as a Supreme Lord. Furthermore, you will see there are few more instructions, and whereas after the instructions again Prithu Maharaj becomes very established and continues to be a king. And finally only when these Chatush Kumaras come and bless him, afterwards there is a disappearance, or rather going back to Godhead of King Prithu Maharaj. So this is what we thought of discussing in today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Anybody has any questions or any comments, you can please do so. Yes, Hare Krishna. Okay, yeah, God is also permanent. Are you asking if God is permanent?
God is also permanent.
Yeah, God is also permanent. That's why we should worry only about God. Only God consciousness, or rather Krishna consciousness. Okay? Any further questions or comments? So thank you all very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.